Now, many of the boroughs around Manchester have adopted nations from across the Commonwealth in an effort to strengthen understanding and social and economic ties. The city of Salford has been twinned with South Africa and last night held a cocktail party at the Lowry to welcome the country's athletes and officials to the city. Well, I'm joined now in the studio by Dr. LINDIWE MABUZA, the South African High Commissioner who attended that party. Can I wish you a very good morning, High Commissioner?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you too, Mike.
Thanks for taking the time to be with us. How was the party?
It was wonderful. It was very exciting. We had the fortune of having the right worshipful mayor of Salford as well as Manchester, with the mayoresses from both cities. So that created a different environment because the athletes could even at once see that they are being highly honored by these visits. But it was the first time also for Team South Africa to be together in a social environment, drinking South African wines, meeting people from the High Commission and meeting some citizens from Salford as well as Manchester.
How important is the sort of tie between South Africa and Salford in the run-up to the Games?
Well, let's go a little back, Mike, if we may, that Salford and Manchester were one of the many cities in the world that took up the struggle against apartheid as if they themselves were being oppressed. And that meant that a new foundation was created for future relations between these cities and South Africa. People invested their youth, their lives, trade unions, churches, institutions. On the basis of that, there are new relations being formed. And so yesterday afternoon we discussed with both the mayor and members of the council in Salford that I'll have to come back for another visit where we shall really look closely at which areas we might begin this cooperation. Is it in education? I'm sure it's going to be that. Is it in health? I'm sure we'll need some of that. But we are also looking at the achievement of Salford, where a place had been devastated through years and years of neglect, but it's now rejuvenated, and we're at the Lowry, which is an example of what you can do with a wasted landscape.
How are you enjoying the cities?
Well, enjoying the cities means that I have the opportunity of talking about my country and emphasizing the need for these people-to-people relations as well as city-to-city relations. We are going to be having in an investment seminar on Friday to attract business, both Manchester, Salford, Liverpool, to South Africa, because South Africa is one of the best destinations for investors, really, in the world. But we're also promoting tourism to South Africa. I'll be having lunch with Manchester Airport Authority to really try and see how we can persuade perhaps South African Airways to come back to fly into Manchester.
Do you get a sense of the excitement that's around the city at the moment? And does it in any way equate with the excitement you had around South Africa in the run-up to the Rugby Union World Cup?
I only arrived yesterday. So I don't know what was happening before, but I can tell you that from last night and just looking at the journalists here in the studio, everybody seems to be so hyped. They're running on endless adrenaline, and so we are also getting infected by this virus, which is a delicious one. But you see, sports is a very passionate engagement for human beings anywhere. And when you get the Commonwealth of Nations with a friendly sport arrangement, and the cities have prepared so well, and I think it was brilliant to twin countries with cities, because your relationship is more focused, which means even for the future you have the possibility of really cementing what will have happened here.
Let me ask you this finally, because I know we haven't got a lot of time left. Firstly, how is life in South Africa? And is there great excitement in the country about the Commonwealth Games? And how are you going to do in the Games?
We're going to do very well. In Malaysia, with 1998, we got 9 golds.
Really?
So we hope it will be a little better. I think we'll do very well. Our athletes are very highly motivated, determined to win. And if we don't, we will also be very happy that our very presence helps somebody to excel, because without the opponent, we don't show your best. We are very pleased with the fact that South Africa is now at a point where we have a multiracial face to our team. You know what it was like during apartheid. We wouldn't have come here, and that in itself is an indication of progress. Things are difficult in South Africa because the legacy of apartheid was so deeply entrenched, but there's also a lot of wonderful stories, which I want to come back to Manchester and tell the people who helped us to gain this freedom, that they helped us to create these new stories, to provide 1.1 million houses for people in the short period of time since apartheid, to be able to provide 7 million houses with fresh running water. Those are stories that are not told, and I would like to come back for that.